Hello, class. It's Miss Roberts here, and today we're going to talk about how to prepare to collaborate for research. Now, this will be helpful for the final two projects, and of course, if you have any questions, please let me know. Let's begin. Okay, so this will be a slightly shorter lecture, but let's talk about preparing to collaborate and research. Now, when we're talking about group projects, it's important to divvy up the responsibilities equitably and also think about our strengths and weaknesses when going into a project. So, say if you're really strong in research, you might lead that. If others are stronger in writing, you might also lead that. And of course, collaborate and teach others and teach your teammates about the best ways to go. Excuse me, the best course of action for your project. All right. So you want to develop a discussion plan, and one of the reasons why I assign the meeting agenda and meeting minutes is so that during your meetings you have a clear path to what you're going to do and what you're going to talk about, and that each time all of you meet, because I know everybody's a little bit time starved, it's hard to get a whole bunch of people together. So once you're able to get together, it's really good for you to have an agenda, have a plan, and have time to discuss certain plans in an organized manner. So, how to develop a discussion plan? Focus on the project. So, of course, I'm also a part of that plan. So, if you have any questions, please let me know. I can either discuss via email or via Zoom or the conferencing software. So encouraging others to participate, so having an open dialogue and open space and forum for people to express their views and their concerns. Now, of course, I provide the due dates for the overarching project, but as a team, you also have your smaller due dates in order to meet mine. So establish due dates and communicate with each other about the progress of individual work and the final project when it's all put together. All right. So you can also follow a structured agenda to accomplish the task. We have the agenda in our class, or you can use the problem solving structure. This is a step-by-step way in order for you to complete your task in a systematic manner. So, for example, you can identify what the issues or problems are. So, say, for instance, there are communication problems or there are issues with putting information together. Identify the problems and then analyze. Think about, okay, what resources we can use to identify the problem. I am also a research as your instructor. Brainstorm possible solutions and then select possible solutions. So this, when we think about the advantages of small group communication, being able to have all hands on deck and all minds think together is the advantage. So use that's your advantage and make sure to contribute and communicate with your team members. And then test and implement your solution. So see what works, see what doesn't work. If you need any help or guidance, let me know. But agenda setting, following the agenda, and using the problem solving structure is definitely helpful. All right. So how do we discuss and share information with others? Now, we talk about providing an open climate for your teammates because, and as we talk about in conflict, we want to make sure to establish positive, open communication climate before a conflict happens. Or if a conflict happens, set the tone for open dialogue and collaborative problem solving. So make sure to create the positive climate and make sure that the group members feel valued for their strengths. Use knowledge, education, information to help your members. So, say for instance, you might be tech savvy, so you might be able to help that way. You might be good at research, writing, delegating tasks, putting things together. And you can also draw upon your previous small group experience to help you out with these projects. You can also use the write and speak technique. So whether it be online on Zoom, putting your information in the chat, or If you're in person, writing down your information on a piece of paper anonymously, put it all together can be a technique to share information. So use technology to share info with online courses and hybrid courses. We rely a lot on technology, not only to engage with the class and engage with myself, but to engage with each other. Canvas is a really good way to initially connect. That's why each group has their own mini Canvas page. But it's up to each group to figure out, okay, from the initial meeting, what other uses of technology or what other platforms do you want to use on your own in order to collaborate with each other? Just a quick note. If whatever you post on the Canvas pages, I can see. So if you're comfortable with that, that's totally cool. If you have any questions about that, let me know. But of course, any outside technology or software that you use to collaborate with each other, I can't see. So just put that out there. And then, of course, work together to find research information. So I have clear guidelines in each project to say, okay, here are the minimum amount of sources. But you can also use more resources as well. The advantage of writing a paper and collaborating on a paper is that you can say, okay, one person finds two sources, the other person finds two sources, and the other person finds two sources. So you meet that minimum research count. Or someone might see a piece of research that might be helpful and share with the group, but it's a collaborative effort. There shouldn't be one person writing the paper or one person doing all the research. Okay, so of course, let me know if you have any questions. All right, so let me move myself a little bit. So how to evaluate evidence? So as we use our research, we have to figure out, okay, which type of research it is and what is the purpose for incorporating the research into our projects. So we might have factual information, which is any statement that's true, report or information has already been established or happened. So ask yourself, is the information true? Is the source reliable? And if there are any contradictory facts with information that you're questionable about, let the group know, and your group members, your team members might have more information about it. Then we have examples. So facts and stats are great, especially with hard evidence and using numbers, but also using stories, hypothetical situations can humanize the information that you're providing. So an example is an illustration of a particular case or incident that is the most valuable when trying to emphasize a fact, real or hypothetical. So to test the examples, is it topical? So is the example related to your topic? Is it significant? So if we're trying to, or if we're using this in lieu of hard facts and stats, is it significant enough to compensate for that? And are there any contradictory or contrary examples? All right. So how to evaluate evidence in group discussions? So opinions. Opinions are tricky because we can use opinion like a testimonial or a word on the street type of situation where it's not a hard stat or fact. It's not necessarily an example of an instance, but opinion can have its place depending on how you're going to use it. Now, the most effective opinions come from experts in the field. So, for example, those same experts might have their studies with the hard facts and stats, and then because they interacted with the field, they studied the field a long time, their expert opinion holds more weight than maybe someone on YouTube or TikTok giving their own opinion, right? So you have to figure out, okay, who's saying the opinion? How are you going to use it in your facts and stats? Are you going to use their opinion as like a word on the street type situation where here is the pulse of the public in regarding to this topic? Or are you using expert opinion whose information holds more weight? So it's up to you what you want to do, but an opinion is a quoted comment, fact-based, unbiased opinions of an expert source that is most valuable. So it's paired with a factor stat. So you can use the frame quote explain technique where you frame it with the you frame it um, with the citation. There you go. Frame with the citation. And then you also pair with the factor stat, and you can also explain it with your own interpretation and including the interpretation of the expert source. So you can ask yourself, is the source reliable? Is she an expert, excuse me? Is the source free from bias? And is the opinion consistent and held by other experts? All right. So also definitions is a really great way to, especially to start a conversation, whether it be in a public speaking context or a paper context, using definitions to help the audience or the readers follow along what you're talking about is a really good way to not only add those facts and stats, but to clearly define the terms that you're going to use and talk about throughout your body of work. So you want to ask yourself, is the source reliable and unbiased? Are the figures recent and do they reflect the times? And how are the statistics drawn? Was the sample representative of the population? So you have the numbers, supporting firm supports. You don't want to misuse and misinterpret them, so make sure to use those carefully. All right, so let me move myself a little bit. All right. So how to evaluate evidence in group discussions and web resources. So we love the internet. In the age of information, we can find so much information, but it's up to us to figure out, okay, which information is useful, which information is just opinion based, which one is misinformation, disinformation. We have to discern or be the filter for our projects. So this is a process of information triage where we process sorting through info to determine which one is useful. And we can use the following information to figure this out through accountability, objectivity, accuracy, recency, and usability. So accountability, who is responsible for the info? Are they a trusted source? Are there any political and philosophical biases with information? Is the information verifiable and error free, excuse me. Is it verifiable and error free? Is the info current and up to date? And can you actually use the information? Of course, this is a team effort, so if you have any questions or if you want to, just sanity check some of the information that you find, you can ask your teammates and you can ask me. Oh, my bad. So also use the library as a source as well, and librarians. All right. So thank you so much for joining me in our brief conversation. We also have information about how to put your sources together in emulated APA format. We also have Moodle tools and Outpurdue to help you and your team put all the information together and format it properly. Let me know if you have any questions. And like I said at the end of that slide, the library and librarians are a really good resource to help with acquiring that information. And they have really good resources about putting information to proper formats, so please take advantage of those resources as well. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy your day or your night if you're watching this at night. Thank you. Bye.